Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Crocheters Creed. If you hear anything, it's Miney in the background. Of course she wanted to play just as I started the video. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be just making the head of the little gnome creature. Now, I've been trying to go through my channel and really redo videos, figure out what I want to remake, how I'm going to remake it, and things like that. And I saw one comment on my little gnome creature where they didn't like the way the head was made. Honestly, I don't really like the way the head looks either. I know that it's Little Nightmares, and Little Nightmares deals with creatures in it. So I guess in a way it kind of goes with the aesthetic that it looks sort of stitched, but I personally don't like the way that it looks. So today I'm just going to be changing how I made on video. I'm going to be changing how I made the head, but in the description I will be changing and doing little tweaks to the pattern as well. But I only saw one comment that didn't really like the way that it turned out. The rest of them said that it turned out pretty well. So if you want to do the gnome creature the way that I made it, I think it was 6 years ago now. If you want to make it back then, it's totally up to you. If you want to make it in this, follow along in the description, but I won't be making the full one because there's really not much that you have to change, and there really isn't much in the body that does have to change. I'm really just making the head. But the whole written pattern will be the whole new written pattern, which won't have that many things. Just a few tweaks will be in the description. But for today, we're just making the head because I don't like the way that it looks. So for the thank you, Car. For the head, I'm gonna move this, stretch this out a little bit. Oh my gosh, hold on. I'm sorry, my baby wants to play. Don't look at me like that. Okay, so for the, I hope this is in the camera, for the gnome creature, they have, of course, triangular heads. Now, this is what it's going to look like, and this is the back of it. Now, you're going to have to stretch it out and mold it to how you want it to look, but this is also going around a body, of course, as you know, that those who've made it before. So you'll have to stretch it and sort of make it look as triangular as possible for what you want to do with it. But this is what it will look like. I like that it doesn't have the stitching in the back. Focus, please. Because I just feel like it looks kind of weird. But for those who like it, keep it the same way. So I'm going to be showing you how to make this. And let's get started. Okay, so I just realized that I was following the wrong pattern. So I had to delete the whole video. I was only 6 minutes in, so it's fine. But I have another phone, and I use that phone to put patterns on, and I send myself the pattern so that I can read off of it instead of having to write it down and then, hear pages flipping or whatever. So I did, the last thing I guess I sent myself was the head of something. So I'm thinking, oh, head, gnome creature, not realizing that I build the gnome creature from the bottom up, and this was building it from the top down. And I realized that almost halfway through. If I would have kept going, I would have realized that I couldn't have made the head. So, scroll it down a little bit more. Gnome creature. So, we're going to start again. So what you're going to do is you still need your 3.5 millimeter hook, and you still need your brown yarn. But you're going to chain 40. And this is my chain 40. Let me take this out. I went a few steps ahead. You're going to chain 40. And then you are going to chain 40. You're going to make sure your thing is straight, and you're going to slip stitch into that first stitch that you did afterwards. And then you're going to do a slip stitch. Put your yarn over, pull through one, pull through both, and you're going to chain 1. Now, the issue with my last gnome creature head was that you could see the line going down and that it didn't really look that even. So this is the only time in this pattern, if I'm correct, where you're going to be chaining 1. Just because when you don't, it looks like the head is sort of miney. It looks like the head is sort of coming off at a weird angle if you don't do this. So this is the last chain 1 that you'll be doing. So, but I'm going to insert my stitch marker, but when we get around, this is just for row 1. We got the row 1, I'm sorry, the beginner's row. So starting row 1, when you get back, you're just going to keep going into, I'll show you. Let me just show you instead of talking. I'm talking too much. So for row 1 through 3, you're going to single crochet in every stitch around for rows 1 through 3. I'm going to show you what I mean by not doing the chain 1. So I'm going to do my row, and then I'm going to come back and show you what I mean. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to pull my sleeves up. So I'm done with my row 1. I've gotten back to my stitch marker. Now what you're going to do, if it will focus, please. What you're going to do is you're going to go into that stitch with the stitch marker and do a single crochet in that stitch. Now, you're just going to move your stitch marker into the single crochet that you just did. Now this is starting row 2. That's just what I meant. It won't be any more chain 1s. It will just be a single crochet and you keep going. So continue for rows 2 and 3. You're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch around. And once you get to your stitch marker, pull it up, do a single crochet into that stitch marker, and just keep going. There will be no more chain 1s. All right, now I'm going to be very particular with this part of the video because it's very easy to get sidetracked. I'm going to write it out again in the description, but it's easy for me to get sidetracked simply because I was getting sidetracked even making the pattern. So we're at row 4 now. We've done all of our rows, and this is what I mean by no lines. I like the way that looks a little bit more than the last one. So for row 4, we're in our please focus. We've got our stitch marker attached. For row 4, we're going to start with a decrease. So in that next stitch, you're going to go in and you're going to pull up a loop. In that next stitch, you're going to go in and pull up a loop. And you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. Now, you're going to, in the next stitch, you are going to do a single crochet. Okay? A single crochet. Let me move this down. Now you're going to go into that next stitch and you are going to do another decrease. Now I'm going to pause the video just to make sure that I got this right before I continue on. Now the next thing, let me just see if this works first. Hold on. I was correct. Now I've already done it, but I'm going to tell you, I just wanted to make sure that it was right. For after you've done, the last thing that you should have done before I paused was the decrease. So after your decrease, you need to do 1 single crochet in the next 30 stitches. Be very precise. In the next 30 stitches, it needs to be 1 single crochet in every stitch around. In every stitch, 1 single crochet in the next 30. So I'm going to let you guys do that. You can pause. But after you do, let me give you some time to pause because I don't like when people pause and they keep talking. You can pause it for a second. Now for those who come back, for after you've done your next 30, you're going to go into that next stitch and you're going to do a decrease. Then you're going to go into, please focus. Going to go into that next stitch and you're going to do a single crochet. Okay. Now, after that, you're going to go into the next stitch and do a decrease again. So you're going to do a pull up a loop, decrease, pull up a loop, and that's your decrease. Now, after that, you just got your stitch marker, which we will do a single crochet into that stitch. Now you move your stitch marker, and that is row 4. Now, for row 4. Now when we're doing these type of decreases, because I mistyped whatever it was, I'm going to do it ahead of time before I do it. I can unravel it just to make sure, but I'm going to do it ahead of time because you have to make sure you do a particular amount of single crochet to make sure that it lines up properly. So for rows 4 and 5, you are going to single crochet in every stitch around. Okay, now I've done my rows 5 through 6. This is what it's starting to form in the line. Now for row 7, again, I'm going to show it to you. Sorry about that. My neighbors are out. I'm going to show you how to do it, but when we get, there's always going to be a point in these decreasing rows where you're going to be single crocheting for a certain amount, and I'm going to go back and single crochet and make sure that it lines up properly to make sure I didn't mistype anything. But starting row 7, you got your stitch marker there. Starting row 7, if it would focus, thank you. You're going to go into that next stitch and you're going to do a decrease. After you've done your decrease, let me move this up. After you do your decrease, you are going to do a single crochet into that next stitch. Okay. After you do your single crochet, move that up, you are going to do another decrease. All right. After that decrease, another single crochet. Okay. After that, you are going to do one more decrease. Now, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go forward a little bit for myself and see if this matches up before I show you guys, just so you won't have to unravel anything. So I'm going to show this on camera, but just wait for me to come back. This is, I'm going to put a stitch marker here to make sure that this is where I stopped my decreasing. And I'll be right back just to make sure that the rest of the row goes well. Okay, I just realized that when I wrote this pattern down, I am doing one single crochet less in this. I'll just make sure that I correct that for myself, but I'll be telling you as I go forward. Now, what you've done is, like I said, I've checked to make sure. Now, this is the last decrease that we did. So you started, you're still on your decrease. After this decrease, you are going to do one single crochet in the next 19 stitches. So after you do that, come back. I'll give you a moment to pause and we will move on to the remainder of the round for row 7. Okay. So you can pause. Now, I'm going to make sure I look at this right. So we've done our 19. Now we're going to go into that next stitch, do a decrease. After that, go into that next stitch, do a single crochet. Okay, decrease, single crochet. We're going to go into that next stitch and we're going to do a decrease. Near in the end, we're going to go into that next stitch after and we're going to do another single crochet. Now, after that, you're going to go into that next stitch and do a decrease. Now, the last 2, you got 2 more stitches left. You're going to go into that next stitch, do a single crochet, and do a single crochet into that stitch marker. Move your stitch marker, put it in that single crochet, and we're going to move on to rows 8 and 9. For rows 8 and 9, let me move this so it won't confuse me. For rows 8 and 9, you are just going to single crochet in every stitch around. All right, now I've corrected it so there will be no more correcting in the video. So we're on to row, oh Lord, I put that in the wrong area. We're moving on to row 10. So starting on row 10, we are going to, hold up. I'm sorry, it looked like a decrease to me. I was about to say I did something wrong. Anyway, for row 10, you are going to go into that next stitch and you're going to do a decrease. Let me make sure that I'm following. And the next stitch after that, you are going to do a single crochet. Okay. After that, you want to do another decrease in that next stitch. Move that down. In the next stitch, you're going to go and do a single crochet. After that, you're going to do a decrease. Now, after this decrease, now I'm going to mark this just so that I know for sure. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. This is my last decrease that I've done in the row, so it'll make it easier for you to count your stitches. In the next 13 stitches, In the next 13 stitches, you are going to single crochet. You're going to do one single crochet in the next 13 stitches. Okay, now if you need to pause a little longer, you can. We're moving on. I've done my 13 single crochet. This is my last single crochet, and we're almost near the end. So for the next row, next stitch, you are going to do another decrease. In that next stitch, you are going to do a single crochet. In the next stitch after that, we are going to do a decrease. In the next stitch, you are going to do another single crochet. And in the next stitch, you are going to do a decrease. And in that last stitch, you are going to put a single crochet. And that is row 10. Now for rows 11 through 13, see now you're going to have to, ooh, oh, that hurt. You're going to have to start forming it the way that you want it to, but it's starting to slowly form into the cone shape. So for rows 11 through 13, you are going to single crochet in every stitch around, for rows 1, Lord, I'm sorry. Do not listen to me. For rows 11 through 13, you are going to single crochet in every stitch around. Okay. We are moving on to row 14. Now this is what it's starting to form as. You're going to have to form it into a triangle yourself. But this is what it's starting to form as. So for row 14, get out of there. For row 14, I'm going to go back to my row, my stitch. For row 14, you are in the next stitch, you're going to do a decrease. I got confused. You're going to do a decrease. After that, you are going to go into the next stitch and do a single crochet. In the next stitch, you are going to do a decrease. Now, in the next 11 stitches, you are going to do one single crochet. So that's 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, after that, you are going to do a decrease in that next stitch. After that, you are going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. After that stitch, you are going to do a decrease. Now, after this, you only have, in the row, you only have 2 more stitches left, but that stitch with the stitch marker is also a stitch. So in the last remaining stitches, which are the last 3, in the last remaining stitches, you are just going to put a single crochet. And that is row 14. Move your stitch marker. Now, again, you can mold this any way that you want to. That's what the back is looking like right now, and this is what the front is looking like. Now, let me see here. Now I have this in the stitch, but now we're going to be working mostly on, our stitch marker has started to form on the side here. So that's where we're going to, that's where the cone is starting to form. So for row 15, you are going, I don't know why I keep taking out my thing. For row 15, you are going to decrease in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and you're going to repeat this pattern almost all the way around. In my pattern, it says in the last 2 stitches, you do a single crochet, but I'm going to do it on camera just to show you. So that was my decrease. This is my single crochet. We're going to go in next and do our decrease. Go into that next stitch, do a single crochet. I'm going to continue this pattern. That's a decrease. Do a single crochet in that next stitch. Decrease in the next stitch. Single crochet in that next stitch. Single crochet, or do another decrease. Single crochet. Next stitch, decrease. Now let's see, we got 1, 2. So it says in the last 2 stitches, single crochet. Last stitch is the last, and the stitch marker is the last stitch. So we've done a decrease. We're going to single crochet in the remaining thing. So that's 1, because we did a decrease, I believe. Yeah, decrease. So just single crochet in the remainder of that. And move your stitch marker. All right, now it starts slowly starting to form. Gonna have to keep molding it. But for row 16, you are just going to single crochet in every stitch around, which isn't really that much, but single crochet in every stitch around for row 16. Now for row, I've finished my row 16. Now for row 17, again, we are going to be repeating that pattern of a decrease and single crochet. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to go into that stitch and do a decrease. Go into the next stitch, do a single crochet. Now I'm going to continue this pattern, but I'm going to tell you what I ended with. Single crochet. Now for the next thing, I'm going to be working for a project for my TikTok. It's the same name as my channel, but most of the projects that I put on my TikTok channel, most of them are either going to be things that I've made on this YouTube channel that's just the final product, but I will be making certain projects just for my TikTok. And the next thing, so you'll see every project that I really make on here, you'll see on my TikTok as well, just the finished product. But I think I might start showing the process of how I do it also on my TikTok, but just in a shorter sequence. I think that would be fun. Okay, now I've done my decrease, my last decrease. Now I've done a single crochet after that, but I have no more room left to do. I have room to do a decrease, but I won't because I feel like it will look really weird. So we're going to go into that next stitch. So you decreased, basically after your decrease, you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3, including the stitch with your stitch marker. And then you are done with row 17. Now for row 18, because it's starting to form, I'm not going to tell you what to do and cut. I'm just going to keep doing it. For row 18, you are just going to single crochet in every stitch around. But what I was saying was I want to make different projects for my TikTok as I do differently on my channel. And one of the next projects that I want to make, that I want to redo, is lock. And I really want to make barrel. I made the barrel purse, which I thought was really, really cute. But I did have a person requesting if I could make a barrel. So making barrel will take some time because I've never made them before. I've only made them in a purse on this channel. Oh, single crochet, Lord. I thought I was doing single crochet? Yeah. This is why I don't talk with this. I'm going to mess something up. Anyway. So, as you see, yay. Look at it. So cute. All right. So, we're going to do a single crochet in that stitch. Now, for row 19, let me make sure, row 19. Now there's not much we can do here, but I'm going to show you anyway. For row 19, you're going to go in and going to do a decrease. And you're going to do a single crochet in that next stitch. And you are going to do a decrease in that next stitch. And then a single crochet. Oh, you see that? Sorry. A single crochet. And then now I could do a decrease. Let me see. Decrease. And then after that you should have one more stitch. I know you really can't see that, but you have one stitch and then you have a stitch with your stitch marker in it. So you're just going to single crochet in that next stitch and single crochet in the stitch with the stitch marker. There we go. Now, it's already formed. I think, let me single crochet just so this won't unravel. But now, like I said, you're going to have to really mold it. Now, it's not closed at the top. You could sew it, but I'm going to leave mine open just because. But I'm going to tuck this behind because that looks strange. But that is now, remember, like I said, you got to mold it. That is now the cone. Now, I like it because, number one, it's a less amount of work, and there's no line. So that is the head. That's really it mostly. This part gives me grief because the smaller you do it, make sure that when you put it, and when you put the body on, make sure that you've molded your triangle to how you want it to look. But this is the cone or the gnome head for Little Nightmares. Thank you for visiting my channel. And like I said, the next project that I will probably be doing is either lock or barrel for my next tutorial. So I hope you guys stay tuned, and Happy New Year!